All right, good afternoon, traders. Today's August 28th, 2025. Hey, my name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land, as well as all my paying subscribers. Thank you so much. Again, for everybody, subscribers or non-subscribers, I try to provide profitable, actionable content every single day. Thank you for following me on my journey. Thank you for all of the thumbs up, the kind comments, the likes, the follows, the thumbs up, everything, the hearts, everything. Love it all. Thank you for sharing my content. Again, special shout out Bob Jordan, John Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted, everybody that shares my content so that more people can benefit from it. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of that. All right. Today I made $46K with a 554 account. All right. Let's take a peek. Before we get into it, let's just go ahead and take a peek at how much that is. All right. So clear. So 46K divided by 554 is 8%. Not a bad day. 8%. That's 8 daily goals for me. Now, my goal is to do 1% every day. Okay, so I got 8% per day for today. Okay, that's a great day. Okay, that's a whole week worth of daily goals, and then some. Okay, it's like a week and a half because I'm only supposed to get 1% per day, and there's only 5 trading days in a week. All right, so that's our goal. If you do 1% per day, all right, at the end of 70 days, you will have doubled your money, all right? If you do 2%, you will get there faster. If you do 8%, you will get there exponentially faster, all right? So just saying, make that your goal and go after it, okay? So here's price action for today. Let's drag this down just a little bit, get a little bit of sell-off into the evening. These are the profits over here. I did have some losses. Okay, I did buy some lottery tickets, and I'm going to say they're not really lottery tickets. They are really low cost 1 DTE, 0 DTE calls that were supposed to expire today in anticipation of NVIDIA racking up some good earnings and the market gapping up and giving me a windfall, okay? It did not happen, okay? And I was willing to accept those losses, all right? So I lost 6K, 6K, and 300, okay, on that, all right? So I'm willing to accept that. I said it before I bought them. I said it might happen, it might not. I said they're lottery tickets. In other words, they might expire worthless, and they did. All right, so there's some. That's what happened with the losses right there. Okay, for the most part, we traded 10-minute uptrends over VWAP today. This is QQQ. Okay, got a little wishy-washy right through here. Found a little 10-minute uptrend with a pullback to VWAP. Then another 10-minute uptrend right through there. Put on the 10-minute chart so you can see it. So we had like a little 10-minute uptrend that happened after the I'm going to call this the EKG, okay? It goes up and down like that. They do a little heartbeat, do a little check your heart, okay? So this is the 10-minute uptrend, kind of a sloppy uptrend, but nonetheless, it was a nice uptrend right into the close right here. We're not going to close at the high of the day, but I think QQQ is up there. SPY put in brand new all-time high. Let's take a look at SPY. So SPY high of the day, about 649.50, 649.51. Okay. Again, on the 10-minute chart. Okay, here's the EKG right there. Like that's a blip up, blip down, blip up, blip down. You notice they get smaller. And then came the 10-minute uptrend. Okay, so we traded the 10-minute uptrend. Okay, now you guys know that is my favorite. All right, that is my favorite. The 10-minute uptrend inside the 2-hour uptrend, inside the daily uptrend, inside the weekly uptrend, inside the monthly uptrend. Okay, got all of the major time frames. All right, the big ones, okay, pushing wind into my sales, pushing price, helping support that 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. Okay, that is my favorite trade. I will probably trade every 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, more than likely. Okay, I'm not that very interested in trading any downtrends right through here. Not interested in going counter trend. It's a good recipe for losing money. Let's just imagine if I had taken puts in this downtrend. It abruptly changed right there. Okay, let's say I got trapped into this one. It abruptly changed right there. Okay, so that's why I'm not interested in downtrends. Okay, the downtrends, and let's say I said, oh, the market's way overbought, I need to short it, it's way overbought. Okay, this thing kept climbing all day long. All right, so that's the reason. I'm not going to go out there and pick tops. What I will do is stay with the trend, and the trend is bullish. Okay, and because the trend is bullish, I will look for 10-minute uptrends inside 2-hour uptrends, and again inside the daily, the weekly, the monthly. Okay, so that's my goal. Okay, so today got 593 here on some CGC calls. All right, you can see CGC ripping from $1.50 all the way up to $1.90. Okay, so I made some money on those 141 DTE calls. All right, even got a little left over, okay, for tomorrow that I didn't take. Okay, still looking for CGC to pump higher. Okay, made 160 on some other CGC calls. Don't need to have two of them, so I just took the profits on those. Okay, so I made 160 on those profits. Those were the 50 DTE $2 strike CGC calls. Okay, got some Intel calls, did not even touch those. Intel has not come into it's looking like an inverse head and shoulders there on the call, on the option right there. I don't know what you guys think, but that looks like a nice head and shoulders inverse. Maybe we got something going on here in Intel for an uptrend, maybe up to 26. We'll see. All right, but I like that pattern. All right, I like the higher low right here. Hopefully they make a higher high. Okay, so that's Intel. Only have 5 of those. Okay, got 5,600. Okay, on these calls right here. These are SPY 670 strike. Okay, and these are 15 days till expiration, so way out there. Okay, they're good for a couple weeks. Okay, you can see I'm buying the dip and I'm selling the rally. See, buying the dip, selling the rally right there. Okay, QQQ 590 strike calls, 8 days till expiration. Still holding some of those. Again, I purchased those at 230. I saw price kind of drifting higher, kind of melting up right through here. So I purchased some calls and profited $237 on those as they moved up. And you can see I sold some off and reloaded some right there. 8 days till expiration. SPY 655 calls, made $3K on those. Again, bought the dip, it sold into the rally. Of course, there's the 10-minute uptrend right there. You know I love that. Okay, 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. When it breaks away from VWAP, that's especially cool because it got that space in between VWAP and the price action. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, 8K on some 651 SPY calls, 1 day till expiration. Again, bought the dip, sold into the rallies up there. Okay, got some QQQ calls. These are 585, 1 DTE call, made 8,200 on those, still holding 200. And you can see price action. I bought the dip and sold the peak. See the peak right here lines up with the red dots as price climbed higher, and right here as price climbed higher. And then as price is melting up, I'm buying the lows of the candles and selling the highs right there. There's QQQ 585 1 DTE calls. Okay, got some 650 strike 1 DTE calls. Again, buying the dip, selling the rallies. You can see the red dots. Those are when I sold some options. These are when I bought some options, the blue dots. Okay, so selling some into the close. See the rally up? I'm selling some into the close right up there. Okay, that was 650, right? Okay, the next one is 8,500 on some 1DTE QQQ calls. Okay, again, buying the dip, selling the peaks. Okay, see the candles drop down. I put a grid of buy orders to capture the pullback to VWAP. All right, to buy the dip. Okay, when I see the bulls buy the dip, I'm going to buy the dip. Okay, when they stop buying the dip, I don't want to own the dip. Okay, but when I see them buy the dip like they did right here, I'm going to buy the dips. All right, so there's price action. Sold into the rallies and bought the dips. Sold into the rallies, bought the dips. Sold the rallies and bought the lows of those 10-minute candles. Again, 10-minute uptrend is intact. I fan out a grid of sell orders up top and a grid of buy orders underneath. Price moves up and goes into my net, okay, and I get filled for some profits up there. When price pulls back, I get filled to reload. Okay, so there's price action on those. I got 14K on these. Price comes down. I bought the 1 centers, all right, down here, and sold the 1 centers for 3 cents. Okay, that was an easy one. Okay, bought the dip, sold the things for 3 cents. And then that was it. I got out. Okay. I know when I've overstayed my welcome. Okay. When I can sell 1 cent for 3 cents. Okay. That's it. It's probably good for the rest of the. That's good for the day on that one, unless it gets really close to the strike. And QQQ was not getting close to 590 fast enough. Okay. And again, you saw these. These were the NVIDIA lottery tickets right there, of course. Okay. And then we've got some 650 calls, which. Where is that? 0 DTE. Here we are. Okay, so I saw price melting up, and I saw a possible target of 650. All right, so I bought some 650 calls, 0 DTE at the end of the day for price to run up there, and I sold into there for some profits, and then I killed the trade. So made 4,100 on those. Okay, let's take a look around. Let's take a look at the markets. And see what's going on. Okay. So into the close, we got SPY. 10-minute is in an uptrend. It's really kind of flat through here, but 10-minute is in an uptrend coming into the close. 2 hour. 2 hour. See the candlestick and the 3 up on top of the white 8 EMA. It's in a 2 hour uptrend. Okay, so you got a 10-minute uptrend and a 2 hour uptrend coming into the close. Daily candle. Okay, daily candle made a new all-time high. Okay, dropped the mic. It doesn't get any better than that. Higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Yeah, we're in an uptrend. Of course we are. We made a new all-time high. Okay, weekly also in an uptrend, monthly also in an uptrend right there. Okay, so that's SPY. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ. Let's take a look at 10-minute. Okay, 10-minute. This is more like consolidation, but it has 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. Not much of a downtrend. I mean, basically, we've got a one candle downtrend right there on QQQ on the 10-minute. On the 2 hour, we have a 2 hour uptrend. Okay, so here it is again. I'm saying 10-minute uptrend is still intact. All right, that means we spread out the nets or the grid of sell orders and buy orders. Okay, so that's what I like to inform the traders in the room that 10-minute trend's intact. Spread out the nets. All right, go fishing. All right, so there's QQQ on the daily chart. Let's take a peek at that. Higher low, higher high, not the all-time high. Okay, there's your all-time high. Higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Okay, that's bullish, and that's also in an uptrend. Okay, it's also in an uptrend on the weekly and the monthly as well. Okay, so there's QQQ. Well, let's take a look at IWM. All right, IWM puts in a new rally high today. That's a new This is the April low. Okay, this is from the recovery rally from the April low. New rally high right there. Okay, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17. That's bullish and in an uptrend, IWM. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Okay, Diamond Dow. Let's check this out. 457.87. 457.71. Not quite, but close. Okay, almost tagged the all-time, almost made a new all-time high. Pennies away. I'm just going to say it, pennies away. Higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA up at the top of quadrant 4. That is definitely bullish. Okay, up over in quadrant 4, top of quadrant 4, and in an uptrend right there. Okay, so that's bullish on Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at our technicals. Well, before we go into technicals, let's go take a look at silver, gold, and oil and gas. Okay, so silver. Okay, silver doing a nice work, nice job today. Higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17, making a higher high. Okay, so that's in an uptrend and consolidating up here at the top of quadrant 4. It's bullish. Silver, by the way, is in a 12-year high. Okay, last time it was here was 2012. Yeah, 2012 was last time we were up here. This is silver at a 12-year high right now, and bullish because it's up there at the top of quadrant 4, and also in an uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs. Okay, gold still hovering over 300. Okay, so that's bullish up in here at the top of quadrant 4. Look at gold hold the higher ground up there. Okay, that's like planking. That's a show of strength. Anytime you can plank all day long, you gotta have some strength to do that all day long. Okay, so here's gold planking up over 300. Okay, for 4 months straight. Okay, gold consolidating up here, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish and in an uptrend. Okay, making higher lows and higher highs. See that? Higher lows and higher highs. Gold in an uptrend. Okay, let's take a look at UNG. UNG today puts in is that an outside day? This is a low of 1209. That is a low of higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish cross over the 17 EMA. Down here at the bottom of quadrant 1, that's bearish and still in a downtrend until it makes a higher high. Okay, it'd have to take out this high right here. This is the only one poking through the 17. So there's UNG. USO still in a downtrend, hasn't made a higher high. Price action is a higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the 17. Not in the upper third, not in the lower third, still neutral. All right, USO likes to go up and give it up every time. Go up and give it up. Okay, so there's USO. Let's take a look at our technicals. T2101. Look at the breadth. So the breadth behind this rally is increasing. Okay, so I'm just saying, like, when you think it's the top 650 and you should short, please be careful. All right, this thing could run to 680, 670, 700. I'm just saying, just be careful. Wait for the trend to turn and reveal itself, okay? The breadth is increasing here, okay? The volume is really picking up, and it's just be careful. If you think, don't go out there picking tops and bottoms. It's a recipe for disaster. This thing could still keep running higher. See the breadth? It's increasing. It's been increasing now for the since the middle of the month. All right, the breadth. That's the wind in the sails. Okay, it's been increasing more and more and more. I mean, it's really ramping up. Okay, that's the 15-minute T2101. Okay, T2102. T2122. Okay, so we spent our day in the buy zone. I like that, taking a rest, and maybe tomorrow we can come up here and visit the overbought zone. All right, and camp out up there again. Okay, that would be nice. Okay, I like the higher lows, and I like the higher highs on the 15-minute right there. I like that. So we're in the buy zone. This beautiful thing right there on T2122. Let's take a look at T2123. Okay, right here, bullish gap up. What did I say this morning? You got bullish gap up, not getting filled by the bears by noon. All right, that is a clue. We're bullish. All right, that means the bulls have control. All right, the buyers have control here. This is bullish. Okay, so gap up and hold the higher ground. Beautiful job there today, T2123. New rally high for T2123, up over the 200 SMA right there, okay? It's a 15-minute chart, okay? It's bullish and in an uptrend right there, T2123, 15-minute chart. Let's look at the 3-bar chart, okay? This is the all-time high, this green line, okay? We came from all the way back here, okay? That's where we started this April low. And we are this close right up here to printing new all-time highs. That's all that's left between the data, all right, and the last all-time high, okay? Okay, so price on 3-bar chart is in an uptrend. Why? Here's a high. You're making higher highs. You're up at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. And you're up over the rising 200 SMA. Okay, so this is bullish. That's why I'm saying don't get in front of this. All right, stay with the trend. All right, that's why I like those 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. When the 3 crosses the 8, you can dump them. All right, you can always get back in. All right, you can dump them when the 3 crosses the 8. Okay, you can always jump back in. All right, I'm just saying. There's no need to try to call the top and the bottom. Let the market tell you when it's broken. Okay, and it's not broken yet. It's on fire. It's doing phenomenal. Okay, so that's T2123. FNGU, price action. All right, so we bullied right out of the gate. Green from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. Look at the sweeping turn up there. Consolidating flat into the end of the day, up over VWAP. That's bullish, all right, and over the 200 SMA. Okay, so right there, all we have to deal with on FNGU is this wick and that wick, and then we've got new all-time highs. So tomorrow's looking good for making some more new all-time highs. See that? We've got this little nub of a wick up here, okay, to deal with, and this over here. Okay, that's all we got to deal with, and then FNGU makes some new all-time highs. Okay, that's bullish. All right, that's very bullish. Okay, we follow FNGU because it's got 10 of the most heavily weighted securities in the QQQ and SPY. All right, and when those 10 move as a pack, they can drag the indexes with them. All right, so we watch these closely because they have enough power to move the other 480 in their direction. All right, so we'll watch those. All right, that's it for me for today. Okay, I had a great day. If you had a great day today, please type a $. I'd love to see the good news, all right? I know a lot of you did well. I know you did well, Alan. Yep, thank you so much, Alan. Alan shares, appreciate that. Love it, everybody, all right? I hope you're making money. If you're not, I do free 15-minute consultations or coaching, all right? All you got to do is hit me up on Teams. And if you need to find me, all of the information is, I'm going to share it up here right now. Right up here now, okay? So got it all included, okay? So you go to notes, okay? You can reach me on these. You can see these are my Twitter, my Microsoft Teams, YouTube, Facebook. There's my email right there. And to connect with me, there it is. Free 15 minutes of coaching with John. Read that. click this and let me know who you are, because I get a lot of unwanted attention. All right, so let me know who you are. You're in the room, and this is your screen name. All right, that's it for me for today. Everybody have a beautiful evening. I'll see you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll do it again. Let's do it again. All right, 10-minute uptrend in the 2-hour uptrend. Okay, inside the daily uptrend, inside the weekly uptrend. Okay, that's what it's all about.